Right now, across the world, engineers are taking on projects so daring and bold they seem nearly unimaginable. From huge bridges spanning vast seas to futuristic cities rising from arid deserts, these endeavors are redefining the boundaries of human capability. They demand big budgets, advanced tech, and years, sometimes decades, of precise planning and construction. Here are 15 massive engineering projects currently in motion that are shaping the future of our planet. Number 15. Istanbul Canal. The Istanbul Canal is among Turkey's most ambitious projects, designed to carve an artificial waterway linking the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. Often called a second Bosphorus, it aims to ease congestion in the Bosphorus Strait, one of the busiest maritime corridors between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. Planned to be about 45 kilometers long, 275 meters wide, and 21 meters deep, it will handle some of the world's largest vessels. The proposed route runs along Istanbul's European side, from Durusu near the Black Sea to a lake on the Sea of Marmara. Announced in 2011 under Turkey's Vision 2023, its goals include safer maritime passage, reduced hazardous cargo risk, and revenue from transit fees. Construction began with preparatory roadwork in 2021, though large-scale excavation has been slowed by financing and political debate. It is estimated to cost around $15 billion, while some estimates range even big, with figures reaching $65 billion. As of 2025, progress remains uneven, but it will soon be done. Number 14. Dubai Creek Tower. This tower is set to be one of the tallest structures ever built, made to surpass the Burj Khalifa and redefine Dubai's skyline. Located in Dubai Creek Harbor, the tower is envisioned as the centerpiece of a vast, mixed-use district. While its final height is undisclosed, it is projected to exceed 1,000 meters. Announced in 2016 by Emaar Properties, the design by Santiago Calatrava draws from the form of a lily flower, featuring a slender central spire supported by a network of steel cables anchored to the ground. Planned attractions include multiple observation decks, the pinnacle room with 360-degree glass floors, restaurants, and event spaces. Built on deep foundation piles to counter desert winds and seismic activity, the project is estimated in the billions. As of 2025, above-ground construction has not begun, though groundwork and podium structures are progressing. Once complete, it will become one of the most iconic UAE spots. Number 13. Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD, is one of Africa's largest and most pivotal ongoing infrastructure projects. Situated on the Blue Nile River, construction began in 2011 with the goal of generating an enormous 6,400 megawatts of hydroelectric power. That capacity is enough to double Ethiopia's electricity output and establish the country as a major power supplier in East Africa. Upon completion, the dam will span nearly 1,800 meters in length and rise 145 meters high, forming a reservoir that can store about 74 billion cubic meters of water, ranking among Africa's largest artificial lakes. Funded entirely by Ethiopia, primarily through domestic bonds and public contributions rather than international loans, the financing reflects both national pride and geopolitical tensions. Opposition from downstream countries, particularly Egypt and Sudan, stems from concerns that filling the reservoir could diminish water supplies during droughts. As of 2025, several turbines are operational, with all 13 expected online soon. Number 12. Gordy Howe International Bridge. This bridge is a cross-border mega-project linking Windsor, Ontario with Detroit, Michigan over the Detroit River. Named after the great Canadian hockey player, it aims to strengthen one of North America's busiest trade corridors. When finished, it will be among the Western Hemisphere's longest cable-stayed bridges, featuring a main span of 853 meters and a total length of about 2.5 kilometers. Overseen by the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, a Canadian Crown corporation, it is being delivered through a public-private partnership with the Bridging North America Consortium. Construction began in 2018 and includes not just the bridge itself, but new ports of entry on both sides, connecting Ontario's Highway 401 and Michigan's Interstate 75. The Detroit-Windsor corridor handles over 25% of all merchandise trade between Canada and the U.S. As of 2025, towers on both sides are complete, deck segments are being installed, and opening is targeted for 2026, promising reduced congestion and stronger cross-border trade links. Number 11. Central Wan Chai Bypass. The Central Wan Chai Bypass is a major road project created to ease severe traffic congestion along Hong Kong Island's northern shore. This 6-lane expressway runs about 4 kilometers, linking the Rumsey Street flyover in Central to the island eastern corridor at North Point, with a large portion of the route built underground. Its central feature is a 3-kilometer tunnel passing beneath some of the city's most densely developed districts. First proposed in the 1980s, the bypass was designed to provide an east-west alternative to overcrowded surface roads in Central and Wan Chai. After decades of planning and phased reclamation works, construction started in 2009. Designed to carry about 4,000 vehicles per hour in each direction, it reduces peak hour travel between central and eastern districts from 30 minutes to about 5. It opened in January 2019, though complementary works and expansions continue. Now, let's move to number 10, Fehmarn Belt Fixed Link. This is a massive underwater tunnel now under construction, connecting Denmark's island of Lolland with Germany's Fehmarn Island across the Fehmarn Belt in the Baltic Sea. When finished, it will be the world's longest immersed tunnel, stretching about 18 kilometers and carrying both road and rail traffic. The goal is to cut travel time between Copenhagen and Hamburg, reducing rail journeys from nearly 5 hours to under 3 and shortening road trips by about an hour. Work began in 2021 after extensive planning and negotiation. Overseen by a Danish state-owned company, the project is expected to cost around 7.4 billion euros. Built using the immersed tube method, huge prefabricated concrete sections are constructed on land, floated into position, lowered into a seabed trench, joined, and sealed. The design includes 2 dual-lane motorway tubes, 2 electrified rail tracks, and a service tunnel. Completion is scheduled for 2029, with strict environmental safeguards for marine life, seabirds, and water quality. Number 9. California High-Speed Rail. The California High-Speed Rail is the largest and most ambitious rail infrastructure project in the United States. Designed to connect major urban centers across California, it will extend over 800 miles, linking San Francisco, Los Angeles, Sacramento, and San Diego, with trains reaching up to 220 miles per hour. Approved by voters in 2008, the project is managed by the California High-Speed Rail Authority. Construction began in 2015 in the Central Valley, starting with a 171-mile section between Merced and Bakersfield. This stretch offers a simple route across flat agricultural land and is split into multiple construction packages for simultaneous work. Costs have risen from $33 billion to over $100 billion due to inflation, land acquisition issues, and engineering challenges. Funding comes from state bonds, federal grants, and California's cap-and-trade program. Legal disputes, environmental reviews, and political debates persist. The first operational segment is expected in the early 2030s, if everything goes as planned. Number 8. Sydney Metro. Sydney Metro is Australia's largest public transport infrastructure project and the nation's first fully automated rapid transit system. Once completed, it will include 4 lines spanning 113 kilometers with 46 stations serving the Greater Sydney area. The project aims to cut travel times, relieve pressure on existing rail services, and accommodate the city's population growth. Stage 1, Metro Northwest, opened in May 2019, linking Rouse Hill to Chatswood via 13 stations and Australia's longest railway tunnels at over 15 kilometers. The most significant current phase, Metro City and Southwest, extends the line from Chatswood beneath Sydney Harbour through the CBD to Bankstown. This segment involves twin 15.5-kilometre tunnels, one of Australia's most challenging engineering feats. Additional projects like Metro West and the Western Sydney Airport line are underway. Funding comes mainly from the New South Wales government, supplemented by federal input. As of 2025, tunneling for City and Southwest is finished, with stations and tracks progressing toward staged openings starting in 2026. Number 7. Crossrail Project. The Crossrail Project, now operating as the Elizabeth Line, is one of Europe's largest transport infrastructure ventures, reshaping travel across London and surrounding areas. Spanning 118 kilometers from Reading and Heathrow in the west through central London to Shenfield and Abbey Wood in the east, it includes 42 kilometers of new tunnels beneath the city. Approved in 2007, construction began in 2009, with entirely new underground stations at Tottenham Court Road, Farringdon, and Canary Wharf. Opening in stages from May 2022, full-through service was achieved in 2023. The line cut Paddington-Canary Wharf travel from over 30 minutes to about 18, easing strain on the underground. Designed for 200 million passengers annually, its cost rose from £14.8 billion to over £19 billion due to station fit-out, signalling integration, and testing complexities. It has boosted London's economy and spurred development near stations. Number 6. Hinkley Point C. Hinkley Point C, on the Somerset coast in southwest England, is the UK's first new nuclear power station in over 20 years. Developed by EDF Energy with China General Nuclear Power Group as a minority partner, it will house 2 European pressurized reactors generating 3,200 megawatts, enough to power 6 million homes. It will supply around 7% of the UK's electricity with minimal carbon emissions, supporting net zero goals for 2050. Construction began in 2016 after prolonged planning and regulatory reviews. Massive marine works to draw cooling water from the Bristol Channel required some of the largest tunneling projects ever in the region. Costs have risen from £18 billion to over £32 billion due to supply chain pressures and the complexity of building first-of-its-kind EPR reactors in the UK. The first reactor base was completed in 2019. Turbine hall components are installed, and the second reactor is advancing. By 2029, both reactors are expected online, making it a cornerstone of low-carbon UK energy. Number 5. Jakarta Bandung High-Speed Railway. This high-speed railway is Indonesia's first high-speed rail project and Southeast Asia's first of its kind. Linking Jakarta with Bandung in West Java, it covers about 142 kilometers and cuts travel from over 3 hours by car to around 40 minutes. A joint venture between Indonesian state enterprises and Chinese companies, it is part of China's Belt and Road Initiative. Construction began in 2016 using Fuxing train sets capable of 350 kilometers per hour. The route includes 13 tunnels, numerous elevated sections, and seismic-resistant engineering for quake-prone terrain. Land acquisition in densely populated areas caused significant delays, as did financing adjustments and the COVID-19 pandemic. Costs rose from $5.5 billion to over $7 billion. Trial runs began in mid-2023, with full service launched in 2024 under the name Whoosh. The project is seen as a model for future high-speed lines in Indonesia, with possible extension to Surabaya. As of 2025, ridership is growing, marking a milestone in modern Indonesian transport. Number 4. Brener Base Tunnel. This is one of Europe's largest infrastructure projects and, when complete, will be the world's longest underground rail tunnel at about 64 kilometers. Running beneath the Eastern Alps, it will link Innsbruck with Fortezza, forming the heart of the Scandinavian-Mediterranean corridor, a vital EU route. It will replace the steep, winding 19th-century Brener Pass line, cutting Innsbruck-Fortezza travel from 80 minutes to just 25. Consisting of two parallel single-track tubes, each 8 meters wide and 40 meters apart, they are connected every 330 meters by safety passages. Construction began after decades of planning, with major works accelerating in the 2010s following Austria-Italy-EU funding agreements. By 2025, over 80% of the excavation is complete, with a breakthrough achieved between the two countries. When it opens in the early 2030s, it will carry high-speed passenger and heavy freight trains. Number 3. China's high-speed rail network. China's high-speed rail network is the largest rail infrastructure project in history, expanding at an unmatched scale. By 2025, over 42,000 kilometers are operational, two-thirds of the global total, with plans to reach 50,000 kilometers by 2035, linking nearly all cities over 500,000 people. Originating in the early 2000s, the first Beijing-Tianjin line opened in 2008 ahead of the Olympics. The 8 vertical, 8 horizontal network links the nation through high-capacity, low-emission travel. About 80% of routes are elevated or tunneled to maintain top speeds of 350 kilometers per hour across challenging terrain. The domestically developed Fuxing trains operate in climates from subtropical south to minus 40 degrees Celsius winters in Heilongjiang. One of the most difficult projects, the Sichuan-Tibet line, faces extreme elevation changes and seismic activity. Funded by government and provincial investment, high-speed rail is seen as essential infrastructure, not purely profit-driven. Internationally, China exports its expertise through Belt and Road projects. The network has transformed travel, trade, and economic cohesion nationwide. Number 2. NEOM. NEOM is one of the most ambitious and large-scale urban developments underway worldwide. Located in northwestern Saudi Arabia along the Red Sea, this $500 billion megacity is planned to integrate cutting-edge technology, renewable energy, and revolutionary urban design. Covering roughly 26,000 square kilometers, about the size of Albania, it is a flagship of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 plan to diversify its economy. The most prominent element is the Line, a 170-kilometer linear city designed for 9 million residents, prioritizing walkability, renewable power, and AI-driven systems. Other components include Oxagon, a floating industrial hub, Trojena, a mountain resort for winter sports, and Sindala, a luxury island for tourism. Construction began in the late 2010s with roads, utilities, and early infrastructure, though progress is gradual and skepticism remains. Official goals aim for partial completion by 2030, but full realization will take longer. Number 1. Mumbai Trans Harbour Link. The Mumbai Trans Harbour Link is one of India's largest infrastructure undertakings, designed to connect Mumbai with Navi Mumbai across Thane Creek. Spanning about 22 kilometers, it will be India's longest sea bridge. This 6-lane bridge aims to cut travel between South Mumbai and Navi Mumbai from 2 hours to just 20 to 30 minutes. Discussed since the 1960s, construction began in 2018 after years of planning and funding delays. Managed by the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, the bridge will link directly to the under-construction Navi Mumbai International Airport. Built with advanced marine engineering techniques, its route includes both sea and land sections, with multiple interchanges connecting to major highways. Environmental planning was crucial, as the alignment passes through sensitive mangrove habitats and bird zones. Once operational, it is expected to carry over 70,000 vehicles daily, easing congestion and supporting regional growth. By mid-2025, major structural works are in place, with finishing stages underway ahead of final completion. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.